Do you wanna
Okay,
do the
do
intro this time?
well, now that's ruined by you asking it, but no, I don't have an intro.
Oh, come on.
The cold open was going to be you panicking over how to link something in the chat.
It wasn't that I don't know how to link something in the chat, it's that I did not like the tweet that I was then trying to link in the chat.
Why
Anyways,
why
I'm
is this
Alex.
mysterious image from a tweet? You could have just saved it. I'm Bryn. This is
Politely Parasocial.
yes. And you're a goddamn disaster today.
I'm in the midst of finals week. Can you really blame me?
I guess not.
You saw my laundry list of things that I have to do to this in the next 4 days. I was gonna
Okay,
say today, and I was like, "Oh
fair,
god."
fair.
I almost said today, and I scared myself with the knowledge of the thought that I had to do all of that today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you're having to create an article of clothing for homework, but one way or another you decided to have this life.
Well, the irony of that is that for 4 plus years, that was my homework, and then now I don't do it for homework, and I got this class that's like, "Do a creative project." And they were like I was like, "You know what I could do? I could make a costume."
Yeah,
Um,
I you did go to school for several years for that, so might as well use it.
yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Um, I have too many things. I'm very tired. My brain's a little off today, so I
And
probably won't be
Thanksgiving
as
is tomorrow.
oh, fuck Thanksgiving. Fucking hate that holiday. Don't even get me started.
I
Forget
don't.
everything else that I thought we were gonna talk about. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about fucking
Oh
Thanksgiving.
no. No.
Worst holiday ever.
As long as it means I don't have to come up with an opinion on Wicked.
I was gonna talk about Wicked, but I guess we can do this instead. So Thanksgiving, bullshit holiday. Speaking of homework and finals, I had to write a paper about Abraham Lincoln's Thanksgiving speech that he gave in like the 1800s.
Ew, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah,
Oh, was it for American
because
history class?
well, it's from my American politics class, but
Same
similar.
difference.
Um, yeah, and so I'm reading this speech, and it's like, and the way obviously this is me paraphrasing and being a little bit
Mm-hmm.
what's the word degrading about the whole thing, but he has this like speech where he's talking about how all these people have died during the Civil War and oh the horror, and then he goes, but thank God, literally, that the Lord Almighty spared us. And I'm like, now hold on a second here. He's going on about like the harvest and how they have such a bountiful harvest and we should be so grateful that they have this bountiful harvest and all these things, and I'm like, dude, no one is agreeing with you in this moment. Like, this is the bloodiest war in American history, and you're talking about how thank God we have God to help us through this. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not religious anymore, but that was
To be
like, I think
fair, it could have been more of a holy shit, at least somebody's alive after that, and at least it's me.
I guess, but also, as the president of the United States, I would hope that you would be now, this is a little bit ironic in our current day and age, but in the at
Ugh.
least, yeah, I would hope that you would be a little bit, inspiring, hopeful. The whole thing is really giving off like, "Well, everybody's dead now, but at least we've got food." And I'm like, "Okay, it's a little in the end, it's a little bit in disregard of the fact that all these Confederate people died," which I know that he's Union and, like, the point was that they were gonna win back, but also Lincoln as a politician was inherently very, like, what's the word? Reunification. He was very pro reunification. So, he was like he was very pro reunification, so the fact that he's, like, talking about how grateful he is that all these, like, people are It's so terrible they die, but also we're not dead. It's kind of just ironic because it does the way that it's phrased in the speech, which I'm not remembering very
I
well, is very much a
guess.
disregard for these Confederate people that have died, which is
I mean, look,
ironic
if you're
since
all
he
if you're
wants the
that bent
nation to
out of
be
shape
whole
about
again.
it, it the karma did catch up to him shortly after. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, you know,
I don't know. I
uh,
think it's relatable.
but anyways, the whole thing that the reason my professor had us reading it is because he was like, I want you to notice how there's nothing about the Native Americans in here and how Massachusetts made it like a Native American holiday in honor of their little tiny holiday or whatever. And while I do think he's correct, and he's like one of the smartest professors I've ever had, so I, not that you should blindly trust anybody, but if there's anybody in my life I was going to blindly trust, it would probably be him. Um, and he's like, this is why you should read this. Know that Thanksgiving is not about, the stuff with the Native Americans. And in my head, I thought, well, if it's not about the stuff with the Native Americans, then really, what's the point? Because I already didn't like it, and that was really the only reason I was committing.
I guess that's fair.
I don't like the food. I don't like hanging out with other people that I don't like. I don't like the like gathering aspect of it.
If you don't like the
I
food,
don't
then you're
like
doing something wrong.
I don't like turkey. I think turkey is a worse version of chicken.
Then make or eat something else.
Right, but like I'm not in charge of the cooking on Thanksgiving because of the nature of it being a family event and that my parents do like Thanksgiving food. Therefore, I am subjected to Thanksgiving food regardless of whether or not I want to eat it. I also don't like green beans. I'm okay with sweet potato casserole and
Green
mashed
beans
potatoes.
in particular, that's an odd one to call out. I don't think that's particularly Thanksgiving-y. I think that's just a vegetable.
Well, no, green bean casserole is like a Thanksgiving food. Um,
Ew, what?
yeah. You've never had green bean casserole on Thanksgiving before?
No?
Oh,
Every
my parents
region
are
does
really white.
Thanksgiving food differently. Every family does Thanksgiving food differently.
Anyways, I don't particularly like the staple Thanksgiving foods, which is like the turkey, the gravy, the mashed potatoes, and the sweet potatoes. I do like pumpkin pie, but I would not choose pumpkin pie over pretty much any other kind of dessert. Actually, that's not true. I would choose pumpkin pie over tiramisu. I hate tiramisu. But
God damn. Well, if we
yeah,
ever
I
wanted
generally
engagement, you talking shit about food is probably gonna get it.
I'm autistic. I have a lot of opinions about food, but also I said something and
What
I was like,
does
I
autism
hate
have to do with opinions on food?
texture.
I am
Just
baffled, but I don't want to say anything to accidentally back into being offensive.
I mean, I think it's pretty like common diagnosis thing that like autistic people don't like certain textures of food, or have like certain aversions to certain textures. And
I
Thanksgiving
thought that was
food
just a
is
person thing.
no, well, no, it's more prevalent in autistic people.
Huh?
Um, but anyways, the food of Thanksgiving is either meat off of bone, which is not my favorite to begin with, or mush, which mush is acceptable, but I can only eat so much mush, and if it's all plate full of mush, and by mush I mean any kind of mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, white, yellow, what are they called? Yukon gold potatoes, whatever they are that make the like standard mashed potatoes. It just the fact that all I have is a plate of mush is just really sad. Like like that's not what I would choose to eat. And so for me, it's kind of like it for me Thanksgiving is the equivalent of if you went home to visit your parents or something and they brought out your like you'll eat it, but it's not something that you would want to eat. It's like you're eating it because your mom made it and you don't want to make your like or if you're visiting somebody else's house. Actually, this is better. It's better if like the analogy is if you go over to somebody's house and the family is making dinner and you're staying for dinner and you're going to eat whatever they make because you're the guest, even if you don't really like it. Usually it's not something that's inedible or like gross, and even it's not most of the time it's not even something you dislike. It's just not something you would ever choose to eat.
I guess
That's
that's
my
fair.
opinion on Thanksgiving food. So if I'm eating at a forced food I don't really want dinner, and there's nothing else driving me to enjoy the experience, what is the point of it? It's just a day off. It's the same as like Labor Day or something, except it's worse because it's on a Thursday.
Interesting. I have very differing, strong opinions about Thanksgiving. Shit. Now that I've said that, now that I've
You're
said that
gonna
on the
have to
podcast, I
share
feel
the
like I
strong opinions.
okay, I have strong opinions that I have never actually been able to act upon because I don't have people to do a Thanksgiving with. I think Thanksgiving should be specifically about spending time with the people you care about, and if you want to involve food, then it should be food that everybody wants to eat, not like traditional Thanksgiving food, because that's boring, and also if people don't like it, then what's the point in making people eat something they don't like? That sucks. Like everybody should like contribute in some way, and it should be food you actually want to eat, and like it doesn't have to be a family thing. It should be people you care about, and like if you think it sucks so much, why don't you make it better? Do something to make it better.
Well, so when I was in Japan and I was hanging out with my friends, I had good Thanksgiving. I mean, I liked that was probably the most fun Thanksgiving I've ever had.
See,
But also,
exactly.
right. But also like that's not what it is in my life unless I'm living literally on the other side of the world. So,
And maybe you should
I mean,
think
I
about
will
why that is. What
oh,
have
I know
you
why that
done
is.
to change it?
There is nothing I can do to change it in my current situation. And let's not go on a tirade about my the way that I don't like family gatherings on this. Those people might
Okay,
actually watch this.
that's fair. That is fair. I don't have a butt here. That's just fair.
But I do feel like when I do move back to Japan, I will probably try to indoctrinate Japanese people into the culture of mashed potatoes because they do not eat mashed potatoes over there, and I feel like they are seriously missing out.
Does Japan do potatoes in general?
Yeah, they're really big on like Japanese sweet potatoes. They have a lot of stuff that's like sweet potato flavored or sweet
Yeah, it's
potato
sweet
this.
potatoes, but non-sweet potatoes.
Also, when I was there and we did like Friendsgiving because we didn't have actual like we just had friends. Um, they sell potatoes in the grocery store and they put potatoes in like curry and other things,
Hmm.
but they don't have mashed potatoes. Like
Well, yeah, but if
they
you have
don't
a potato, you can mash it.
right. And I feel like what I mean at restaurants or things like that, they like their Kentucky Fried Chicken doesn't have mashed potatoes as a side. I'm like,
But do they
what
have
is the point of
non-sweet
you?
potatoes? That's what I was asking.
Oh yeah, they have like Yukon Gold, whatever they're called, the regular, your standard potato
Most of the potatoes I see are Idaho potatoes.
or Idaho potatoes. Isn't the brand Yukon Gold like there's a brand of potatoes that's called
I
that?
don't know if it's a brand or like a species of potato. Honestly, if it is a brand, they probably like copyrighted the particular species or whatever. I don't know.
Ugh, like Monsanto corn. We, this company, own all of this type of potato. You guys can't have it. I think that's so crazy. I think it's crazy that companies can own types of vegetables and fruits. How did we let that happen as a people?
I don't know. It wasn't my decision.
No, no, I just think it's crazy. Like at some point someone was like, "I would like to own this specific type of strawberry and nobody else can have it." And then the government was like, "Yeah, okay, you can do that."
When
Why?
you say
Just
it
like
like that, it doesn't make sense. And honestly, the reality of it doesn't make much sense either. But there is slightly more nuance to it.
because I mean, obviously you're trying to like sell stuff, but also like, why should any one person? It's like saying it's like the way that people own water. Like, no one should own water. Water should be for everybody. Everybody should have access to water. But
Please
maybe that's the
understand that there is
socialism
at
in
least
me.
some amount more nuance than water, because water is water. Because if you don't
It's
acknowledge that there's some nuance, I'm going to have to be defending a giant company, and I don't want to do that.
I acknowledge that there's nuance, but but it all goes back to the theory of that everybody should be allowed to eat and drink water, therefore no one should own a specific type of food or beverage.
Well, yes, and I know that, and you know that, and I'm sure the people in charge at Monsanto know that, but they also know that that's not going to make them money, and that's what they care about.
Oh, so it all just goes back to the fact that everything that's ruining our lives everywhere all the time is capitalism. Okay, cool,
Of
cool, 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 cool,
course.
cool.
I thought that was a given.
Ugh, sometimes I like to gaslight myself into not thinking about the world in those parameters because if I do think about the world in those parameters all the time, I get sad.
I'm sure that's all well and good for your mental health, but if you keep doing that, I have to defend the big companies, and I don't want to do that.
You need to join me on the delusion train of what if I just pretend that these things aren't happening? Like I know
I
they're happening, but every day I wake up and read the news and then I have to pretend that I didn't wake up and read the news and I'm just gonna ignore what I read in the news.
I don't know. The news is like abysmally bad, but lately it has given us some funny stuff.
I don't even read American news. That's the worst part of it. I'm reading Japanese news, and you'd think that they would be moderately improved upon, American news, but it's really not. It's all bad.
Wow. This is I can't believe we've
We need
gotten
to
to a
change the
point
subject.
we've gotten to a point in the episode where I want you to talk about Wicked. And not that I hate Wicked or anything, but I just don't have anything to say about it, so I wasn't looking forward to that. But now I'm desperately looking for it.
Well, anyways, I saw Wicked for good. Well, actually, speaking of news, this is kind of adjacently related because the reason I want to talk about Wicked is that I think that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are both anorexic, and I'm waiting for the Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande fangirls to just to like mass appear at the speaking of their name in the chat of this and be like, they're not anorexic, she's healthy. Because that's what happens every single time I see anybody talking about it anywhere on the internet.
Oh
Um,
boy! I don't think you told me the tone was going to be in that uh oh, okay. Well, I
the,
would like to reiterate that I don't have an opinion. So, kill the snail
you're
and not the
safe.
cow.
Yep. But mainly the reason I want to talk about it is because I see all these people, they're like, they're healthy, they're healthy, they're healthy. And as someone who looked like that in my first year of undergrad, I do not have, I feel like I need to preface this. I do not have anorexia. However, I do and did have an eating disorder that is not associated with a desire to be skinny. But I did just like not eat for like a couple months. Like I was eating enough to like not die, but like not enough. And
Mhm.
having looked in the mirror and seen myself, and I'm now looking at these pictures of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, it is like looking in the mirror, and I'm like, you can see their rib cage, like the whole thing, not like your ribs, like the whole thing, the collarbone and everything.
Is the
And I
collarbone
think
part of the
that's
rib cage?
scary. Like I guess maybe not rib cage. I don't know anything about anatomy, but the whole like normally uh
Maybe finish the sentence before you stop at the whole.
the the whole bone collective.
Bone
Um
collection? The whole bone collection.
anyways, um usually people assigned female at birth have a
Bone
decent
collection.
amount of padding on the upper part of their chest where their boobs would be. Even people who don't have big boobs, you usually cannot see like the bones underneath
The
that part
bone
of your
collection,
chest.
yes.
Yes, the bone collection. They are your ribs and your collarbone, but mostly it's like the top of your ribs. Usually you can't see those bones when people wear like a tank top or something because there's like muscle and fat there and other things.
It's not just
Cynthia
their
Erivo and
bone
Ariana Grande,
collection, yes.
yeah, you can see everything, and not in like a fun, cool, sexy way, in like a Halloween Horror Nights kind of way.
Bone collection.
You're just gonna okay, we're just gonna stay on that.
You said bone collection. Yes, we're going to stay on that.
I mean, they are a collection of your bones in your body.
You have
Anyways,
to know that
segueing
bone.
back.
Okay.
Nope, okay, whatever. The other thing I wanted to talk about with Wicked is that I think it was a really well done movie adaptation of a musical, and I know that on
Oh,
my
so you
YouTube
save the
channel
positive, the blatantly positive thing for the end.
Uh-huh. And as much as I dislike Ariana Grande as a person who's just never really liked Ariana Grande, I thought she did a really good job as Glinda. And I think that it's ironic that you, as someone who used to be deeply into musical theater, have not seen the movie. And I
I
wanted
don't.
to
I,
shame you a little
I
bit
don't
publicly.
see movies.
How boring.
Yes.
I literally don't do anything else except go see movies when I'm in the US. I have no life. Actually, that's not true. I make this podcast and I go see movies.
Fair enough. Well, and
Uh,
you are endlessly in school for so much of your day, your week.
that's like saying you have a job or something. Like that's not like something fun that I do. It's I mean I think it's fun, but I don't think that like most people when you say, "Well,
I
what do you
think
do
you're
for
the
fun?" If
only
I
one who
responded
thinks
with
it's fun.
right. I was gonna say I think if I told anybody that, "Well, what do you do for fun?" and I say, "Oh, well, I go to school," they would look at me like I like was insane.
They'd look at you
Um
like you were displaying your whole bone collection.
yeah, exactly. So anyways,
Bone
yeah, but
collection.
also the thing that I was freaking out at the beginning of the podcast that I was the Twitter image that I saw is that so the whole movie as an ex costume major. God, I realize I say as a lot now that I am listening to myself. Anyways, um as someone who was an ex costume major and did a lot of special effects makeup, the entire movie was mostly practical. Not the entire movie. Most of the movie was practical effects with like actual costumes, actual
Hmm.
special effects makeup and stuff, and it was really cool. And there's really very few flaws that I have as a costume technician with anything that the movie did. I feel like it did a really spectacular job in making a visually stunning film. And I don't feel like the special effects then when they did use CGI was overdone or unnecessary. You know how like when you see a Marvel movie and you're like, God, why are they flying? There's no point. But I did
Oh
they
boy. Ariana Grande fans and Marvel fans. Again,
oh I'm making
I'm not the
enemies.
one who said any of this.
But anyways, at the very end of the movie, and spoilers for Wicked if you've not seen or don't know about it, the Fiero, the love interest, turns into the Scarecrow, and from the Wizard of Oz, and he comes back and finds Elphaba, and we don't see his
Damn,
face
Wizard of Oz
until
spoilers.
if you have not seen the Wizard of Oz, you're dead or you live under a rock. Um,
Yeah, you're probably just a bone
anyways,
collection now.
exactly. That's the title of the episode, Bone Collection.
God damn
um
it.
So you started it. So, anyways, he comes back, and the entire time he's like, we know he's the scarecrow. It's implied he's the scarecrow. We see like his feet, the back of his head, all these things. We never see his face, and he comes back, and he like comes to get Alphaba, and we see his face. And the CG, what I thought was CGI in this scene is so bad that there was audible laughter in the movie theater that I was in. And I
Oh
just sent
no.
the link to the tweet that the images I'm referencing, and I found out that it was not CGI, it was actual practical effects. And you know what's so much worse? It literally doesn't look like it. It looks like in the movie it looks like bad CGI. And I don't know who the lighting director or who the gaffer for that specific scene was, but I hope they never work again because that was literally the most atrocious thing that they could have done to that what is actually quite stunning SFX makeup.
Okay, so your problem is the shot itself and not the 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 like actually properly lit shot of the face.
Right, because in the stills of him, he looks pretty incredible, I would say, considering that they're trying to make a human person look like a scarecrow.
Okay. Personally, I think the
But it
problem is that he looks like a goddamn monkey. Like what's with the weird face he's making?
well, that's just the actor. He looks like that all the time.
I
There's
don't
nothing
know,
they could have done
man.
about that. That's who they cast. I
No, see,
People
I've
love
seen him when he's like a human person in like I've seen clips of him as a human person, and I don't know. I think maybe it's something to do with how much of a mess he looks. Anyway,
but I mean, and here's my real controversial take on Wicked that may be more controversial than I think that Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande have an eating disorder. Um, I don't think Jonathan Bailey is that good looking. And
is
I
that who
say
you
this
think it
as a
is?
lesbian, but he really
Is that
just,
the guy's name?
yeah, that's the actor's name.
Okay.
I just really don't, I don't know. I feel like he's
I don't know. I'm not really that into
kind of
Chex
mid.
Mix.
That's what everybody on the internet is calling it. They're calling him the Chex Mix Man.
I mean, that is what they made him look like.
Like they what they should have done, and I'm not a costume designer anymore, and I never really was to begin with. But I feel like it would have been better if they'd have just left some human skin visible and like blended the burlap like from the edges into
You know
like
what
his
I'm
human
mad
skin.
about? In the still
The
images,
hair?
no, the hair is whatever. What I'm mad about is that in the still images, it actually looks like he doesn't have ears, or they're at least covered. But the lighting of the shot from the movie that you showed, his ear is so clearly visible. There's no reason for a scarecrow to have ears.
Right. Like I feel like
Like in the still images, it looks like they made an effort to disguise the ear as just like a wrinkle in the canvas. The fuck is up with
I also
that?
just I also just feel like the eyes make it so unsettling. Like if you just like put your fingers over the eyes and you're not looking at them, it like makes the whole thing look better. Like if you just like the
Disagree.
human eyes looking out of the scarecrow face is so unsettling to me. I feel like the Tin Man was better. Like the makeup and SFX makeup for the Tin Man was chef's kiss. They did CGI his teeth silver in the movie, which is quite uncanny valley for some reason because as you're watching it, you're like, why is his mouth like that? Oh, your brain just does not like there's something in the subconscious where you're like, ugh. But it also is one of those things where like they should have just never showed us his face and we could have been like cool. Because also the irony of it is that we're supposed to be able to recognize that this is Fiyero, and the first time that he shows up on screen as the scarecrow, I'm like, is that Ryan Reynolds? Like I was
Bestie,
like,
are you just
that's
face
not
blind? That does not look like
I
Ryan
am
Reynolds.
it does in the movie though. Like
No, no.
but you haven't seen the actual scene, you're just looking at stills from the movie. Like I'm
Yeah,
telling
but
you
I
the
also
angle and
know
stuff at
what
which they
Ryan
shot it
Reynolds
at.
looks like.
Right, right, but this that scene that that's in that tweet is not the first scene that you see of him in the movie. I'm telling you, the first scene that he shows up in, the angle that it's at, and with the lighting and stuff, it dead ass looks like Ryan Reynolds.
I don't know,
And you can
man.
probably go on Reddit or like Twitter or something and find people going, "I thought it was Ryan Reynolds." I'm not the only person who had that reaction.
You're not the only face blind person in the world. That does not look like Ryan Reynolds.
Bro, I am like I'm like gonna bully you out of the house. I live on the other side of the country. I'm gonna bully you out of the house to go see this movie so that you can stop bullying me about the fact that I thought it looked like Ryan Reynolds because I know
I
that
don't
that's
need
what
to
it looked
bully
like
you
the first
about
time I
that.
saw it.
You said bone collection. Bone collection. Anyway,
It
yes, the
sounds
title
worse
of
the
the
more
stream
you
has
say it
always
out of
been this.
context. It sounds way worse when you say it out of context like that. Now it sounds like I have a boner collection.
No, you can't make this about dicks. You said bone collection. The word skeleton was right there, and you said bone collection.
Because the skeleton implies that it's like the entirety of all of the bones. And I was just thinking of the bones that make up your torso. The collection of bones that make up your torso. And then I put the words in the wrong order.
Bone collection. Bone
I hate
collection.
you. All right, I feel like that's a pretty good moment to end in the episode. I hope you all take good care of your bone collections and they're not on display for everybody else to see like Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's are. And
Man,
I
you could have
think
we could have had like a genuinely interesting conversation about people collecting bones. Like that's something I want to do. But no, you had to make it about anatomy and bone collection. Skeleton was right there. You could have stuck with ribcage. But bone collection.
anyways, if you liked this, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel or subscribe to our Twitch if you're watching it from there.
And if you agree with
Um,
me that that was a wild thing to say, leave us a message saying bone collection.
comment down below with the words bone collection. And I'll like everyone who leaves a comment that says bone collection because it knows that you made it this far into the episode. Um, but if you'd like to hear more of this, as I said, subscribe, hit that notification button because, you know, everybody on YouTube does that. I definitely don't do it. I'm not expecting anybody to do that.
I
But
also don't
like
want
this
you to.
video so that it can get pushed into people's algorithms instead of just sitting on my channel unviewed. And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye. Bone collection.